Imuweza wedu weZimbabwe kuvira kuvata mbezi kusvika ipapo navakungamiri.
Zimbabwe, thank you so much. Thank you for all of you listening right now. My time is 22 minutes after the hour of 6, and we are live from the United Kingdom. My name is DJ Sodza, and this is your show, The Men's Corner. The show that we give you every Thursday. From 9 to midnight UK time, and discussion starts right about now. For us, time is money. We start on time, and we would like to finish the show on time. So for those who come late, you'd have to catch us on podcast. Last week we were discussing some very important issues, where we're talking about the sudden movement in the political scene in Zimbabwe, where Fadzaima Here declared that she was going to contest as well as an MP, and Dr. Moyo came up, and Nkosana Moyo came up, and say he wants to be president and all that. So all this was happening, and people had their thoughts. They come up with ideas why these people have suddenly turned up. And some were saying it's a breath of fresh air, these guys coming up. Some were not impressed. That's the democracy that we want, and we shall carry on. But anyhow, there's quite a lot of topics coming out from you guys. If you've got any topics that you want us to talk about, you know where we are. Just drop us an email or just ask us to discuss it, and we will do so. But before I go any further, I would like to welcome the panel. I'd like to welcome those who are already here, well, and in their seat. I know there are some people coming on as well. They are still on their way. As you know, Zimbabwean men are always late, so I'm expecting a few men to come, but late as usual. But we accommodate them. They are part of us. So shall I welcome you, Sally, first to the show? Would you like to greet our listeners?
Good evening, DJ Sodza. Good evening, Wilbert. Good evening, Benford. Good evening. Who else is there? Namazulu. And good evening, Masikuru. And good evening, Zimbabweans, wherever you are. I hope you have had a good day, and that your evening is nice and relaxing, and that you'll join us on the show, because we got a good show again tonight. Thank you, DJ Sodza.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Tetano Mazulu, kunjani lako lapo Germany. Tetano Mazulu, are you there? Don't mashura parara. Listening, Mukoma Benford, welcome to the show.
No, fara makadiko DJ Sodza. Makadiko muri Zimbabwe tasanga zvakare pachirongwa chedu.
Aha, aiwa. Zvinofadza kuwa nemi pano Mukoma Benford. Thank you so much. Mukoma Wilbert, how is Manchester tonight?
Manchester is fine. It's nice and cool today. It's not hot at all. It's wonderful. How is everybody? Hello, Sally. How are you, Bedford and Nomazulu and Sekuru there in Birmingham? And hello to you also, DJ.
Thank
Welcome
you
to the show. Look forward to it every week.
Absolutely. We also do look forward to it. Vape, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Sodza.
Yes, you.
Sorry. Muneka Kosoro,
you drank a little bit too much with Mayor Manyenyeni the other day there. That's why all this is coming up.
I think probably you're right.
No, it was good. Is he back yet now?
Yes, he's back in Harare. Yeah.
He's back in Harare. It was unfortunate we would have had him on the show, but I think it was he didn't have many days in the UK, did he?
No, he didn't have. It was just a short visit. Yeah,
a short visit. I know. Next time we will endeavor to speak to him. But right, Sekuru Maswera saying.
Ngamuka wangu maamka siyo. Mchango pepuka.
Mchango pepuka. Sekuru, it is I don't know. Would you like? I know that they are here to hear other things, but I need to have a banter with you for 2 minutes. Sekuru, I'm surprised that your team has gone out to fork out 52 million on a player who is perceived to be less important in the French team compared to a player that you have already got at the club. Did you need this player? Because it looks like he's not better than what you've got there. If we look at how the French team, plays, Giroud is always ahead of Lacazette. Why would you pay 52 million for this guy?
Who is the coach for the French team? Is it Arsene Wenger or somebody else?
It's somebody else.
Okay. So, in your own view, whatever somebody else does with the team is should be followed by Arsene Wenger.
Right. So are you trying to convince me that this guy is better than Giroud, but he doesn't play for France because the French manager simply doesn't like his style?
No, all I'm saying is every team can utilize any player better depending on their balance. It doesn't necessarily mean that any player can come into any team and become a star overnight. There are very few people like that, Ronaldo, Messi, maybe. But you've seen how somebody is struggling at Manchester United there, who was doing very well elsewhere. You've seen that.
Okay.
Why?
So Sekuru, are you telling me that this is a very good buy for you?
In as far as I'm concerned, I'll comment on the good buy when he starts delivering. When Henry was bought, nobody knew there was a player like Henry in France. And when he came here, he lit the whole of the Premier League. Right now, he's now called Henry. And you people are always trying to find something to say about Wenger. Wenger must go. Wenger must go. When your teams get relegated, we don't even say your coach must go.
Sekuru Maderu kwa muri maskera seko ku Birmingham.
Hey, there are two subjects you don't torment Sekuru about. One is Arsenal, the other one is MDC. Okay.
I thought I might wake Sekuru up before we start actually.
Wake up! You put dynamite underneath him.
Tete Mama Zulu, are you there? Kana kuti muchipa mute. Right. Tete Mama Zulu looks to have I think she's...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on there? Were you on mute?
Yes, I was on mute, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you?
Kathleen Jani Rapo ye Germany.
Aye, not a kumnan. But there is some background. There is some radio background.
Where?
I don't know.
No, we can't hear it here. And the listeners cannot hear it either. It's nice and clear here.
It's Donald Trump is in Germany.
I think Donald Trump is there. He's causing all those problems.
You've been trapped.
Okay. Tetolama Zulu, actually your volume is very low there. So whilst we start discussing, please try and tune in your volume a little bit up. I don't know the settings you are using there. But anyway, let me read exactly what someone has asked us to discuss today. Kwanziko DJ, I've got a few questions and I don't know if it's worth discussing on your show today or not, but here they are. And I see a lot of youngsters such as Soul Jah Love, Kina and others performing on Zanu PF rallies. What does this mean for the youth? What does it mean for the country? Do they also perform on the rallies of the opposition rallies? Is it just business for them? Do you think their presence on these rallies is going to affect the outcome of the 2018 elections? If so, how and why? Don't know to attend my questions are kubvunzwa. There's quite a significant number of questions that are being asked. Kwanziko, I have few questions. Don't know if it's worth discussing on your show today or not. Maybe here, well, let me start again there. I have few questions. Don't know if it's worth discussing on your show today or not, but here they are. I see a lot of youngsters such as Soul Jah Love, Kina and others performing on ZANU-PF rallies. What does this mean for the youth? What does it mean for the country? Do they also perform on the rallies of the opposition rallies? Is it just business for them? Do you think their presence on these rallies is going to affect the outcome of the 2018 general election? Those are the questions that are here. Quite a lot of interesting questions there too, that has been asked. May I start with you, Sekuru? What's your take on all these questions that have been posed? Yekutanga iri kunzi Sekuru, in short zviri kunzi. Okay, let me do it this way. You know, Sekuru, hondo yakarwiwa and makaiona nemaziso enyu. Sekuru, I think what this listener is trying to come to is, in those days, music yairidzwa, it was there to encourage people to remove the regime which was not fair, right? You would never see vanhu vairidza those days vachindoridza pamarare airidzwa nana aendwa nevarungu ayaya. They would go there because they were not on that side. But what is it now with these young singers and artists going to perform on ZANU-PF rallies, yet vamwe vari kuti ZANU-PF yatikuwadza kuZimbabwe? I know there's not all people are saying ZANU-PF yakashata, but some people are voicing their voices now. Why do you think these young people are going to play in these rallies? That's the first question, Sekuru. Is it just for money, or they are affiliated with ZANU-PF?
In my view, it could be both. But the main compelling reason being the money of it. But I can't rule out that some of these young people also believe that ZANU-PF can make a name for themselves. Not just in terms of exposure and publicity, but also in terms of being members of that party. So, as far as I'm concerned, yes, the impact of music in war situations has been tried, tested, and proven to be very positive. And what they are doing is actually perpetuating a kleptocracy to continue ruling, because some people might go there for the music and they end up convinced about the agenda itself. So, in my view, it's the need for publicity, which they get for free at a mass rally like a ZANU-PF rally. And then the second part of it is that, as you know, ZANU-PF is also stripped everybody naked and made sure that they rely on ZANU-PF for survival. And as such, if you get an opportunity to be paraded and they are paid a lump sum, say 2,000, when your shows have been raking in 200 per night, honestly, you would jump into the opportunity given the situation in Zimbabwe. So, really speaking, I can't blame it on just one thing like affiliation. I can also see the economic side of it.
So you're saying it could be both ways. Number one, to gain popularity. Number two, you articulated it quite well there, that if you go for a night show and you play all night and you earn $200, and ZANU-PF come calling and say, can you come and play in Sakuba Stadium there for only 3-4 hours, you get £2,000 cash in the pocket, you would jump at that, wouldn't you?
That's my point, yeah.
Thank you so much. Mkoma Benford, may I pose the same question to you? What do you think is happening here? Are these people affiliated with them? Is it just for business? Or they're just looking for popularity?
No, my dad was a DJ. You know, I think at times we make issues out of no issues. First and foremost, these are musicians who are trying to earn a living. And nokuoma kwakaita zvinhu muZimbabwe, every opportunity that will give you the dollar, is welcome. I don't care where the money is coming from as long as I get my money. It is up to my political parties to take advantage of these musicians vanenge vari papeak like Soul Jah Love and stuff, Nana Jah Praise. If anything, I commend Zanu for using these musicians to their advantage. I would expect the opposition to do the same. That's the way you draw people to your rallies, and then you have a platform to talk to the people. Otherwise, as for the musician, most of them are apolitical. They do it as business. When political sides, you find usually musicians like that don't survive for a long time. You can see profile Ivan Wakatasana Tambauga. You look at a musician like even Andy Brown. When it became apparent that he was taking partisan stance in music, you also look at even Thomas Mapumo Taitai. His music is down if you compare with him na Mtukuzi, who has maintained that he is non-political, non-partisan, if I might put it that way. So in as far as I'm concerned, these are young musicians who are just taking advantage, and it is up to political parties to also use this musician to promote their agenda.
Thank you so much. Mukoma Benford, may I ask you a very personal question? If Chete Mimi, no, I can't ask you that question because you have not declared which party you support to Zimbabwe.
Yes.
What is your take on this issue, Yema Young? First question I need to ask you, are you in MDC hiring these young artists to come and play for you, or you are not?
No, what normally happens with the MDC is that if there are events where, of course, we need music to be played on, we have approached some of these musicians, and I think you remember that we have got a couple that have played in various events of MDC, and we have no problem with that. But it's not always the case that at every rally we hire a musical band. These will be specific events, especially if that event is for a couple of hours, and depending with also the audience and the message to be delivered. So yes, where it is necessary, we utilize them. I think the Chimbetu trio are some of the names that actually comes into my mind.
Okay. Saka imimi ne question ya bvunzwa ne mumwe mutereri uyu iyi. Muri kuiona sei imimi ekuti what is happening here? Are these guys just going there because they are affiliated with it? Kana kuti because of the financial side of things?
I think there are multiple facets to that question, if I may say. Firstly, dictators all over the world, their approach is the same. Is at every election, they want to come up with a sort of, they force a dependency syndrome to their subjects. And as such, they then are able to exploit you. And this is what we, for your information, Zanu PF is more than happy to plunge Zimbabwe in its economic meltdown at the moment, where only a few people around Robert Mugabe have got unfettered wealth through corruptions. And youth, and the people who are in the peripheral. Right.
Okay. But
I think there's.
Yes, there's noise. Mukoma Tawanda. Hello? Chief Sose. Right, yeah, unfortunately we can't take that call at the minute.
Yeah, so I was saying yes, in terms of the current situation whereby the dictator, ZANU-PF in particular, is forcing independence syndrome in the country so that people can be exploited because you have to beg. Given the state of poverty in Zimbabwe, of course, these youth, upcoming youth, they are attracted by the need to survive rather than to support ZANU-PF. You need to understand the level of poverty on the ground. There's also a sense of insecurity. And insecurity can come through poverty, can come through previous experiences whereby those people who have not shown an open support to ZANU-PF have become victims towards the elections. So you see a lot of those people coming there. It's because of insecurity, the fear of the unknown. If they are not associated with the ZANU-PF, big sort of being a thuggish political party, it's sort of on a despondency. Well, there's so much despondency on the ground from the youth. I think you need to understand that we've got over 55% of the youth in Zimbabwe unemployed at 98%. So yes, that could be a sort of a pushing factor to these upcoming musicians. But let me say also that previous examples like Jah Preza, I think Jah Preza also made his fame through association with ZANU-PF. And these upcoming musicians, they see Jah Preza as having been propped up by ZANU-PF, and they would want also such type of fame. Yes, but we know that that we've got Andy Brown, people like Andy Brown, who also was associated with ZANU-PF, but died sort of a pauper. We know Chinks of late. He died at a point when he has been deserted by ZANU-PF. They use them, but at the moment it's a situation whereby youth are actually very much prepared to be used just for surviving a day. What does that mean to Zimbabwe and to the opposition parties? I think what that means is that as opposition parties, we need to articulate it better. We reach out to the youth in any humanly possible and try to demystify that change is for them and change is good for them. And they have nothing to fear. I think that message should be very clear.
Okay, very clear. Now, let me read this coming from one of our very loyal listeners here. I don't regard those young men as serious musicians. They have deserted the people. They are betrayers who are paid to entertain the oppressed. Those are very strong words. Sally?
Yes, DJ Sodza.
Yes, Sally, you've heard what we are talking about here. What is your take on these? May I ask you yourself, if you were in Zimbabwe? I know you've got things to say, but I just want to ask you this question. If you was in Zimbabwe right now, and you are a young musician, trying to make ends meet with your family, and you get about $100 or $50 if you play for the whole night, and suddenly Zanu PF pitch up and say we are going to Rujaka Stadium and we want you to come and play there for the rally, and we are going to pay you $3,000 cash on the day, would you go and play there?
No. I'm taking blood money.
You are taking blood money?
At least, yes. At least that $100 that I am earning a night inside a club is honest money. Okay? That 3,000 or whatever it is that you're getting from Zanu PF, okay, could be used for other things rather than paying me for music. I couldn't do it. And I am so disappointed in these young musicians. They are part of the povo of Zimbabwe, okay? They see the suffering of the people. They are in the perfect position, okay, to make a stand. But they sell their souls to the very organization that is killing people, and people haven't got jobs, and they haven't got homes, and they haven't got so many things, okay? I get, for me, okay, look, that's just for me, all right? When you hold a position like a musician or a preacher or whoever, okay, that holds a position that they are on stage and they're in the limelight and that kind of business. When your country is in trouble, the people of your country are in trouble, and the very core existence of your people are in trouble, it is your duty, okay, to stand up and for your voice to be heard. If that hadn't happened during the war, the music during the war was the most fantastic music. It spoke to the people. It was the soul of the people. Without that music, okay, they wouldn't have had as much impetus as they did. Because that music spoke to them. It spoke to their daily lives. It spoke to their suffering. It spoke to the inequality. It spoke to everything. That music was the jewel of the liberation struggle. That music caused a lot of young freedom fighters to walk away from their families and their schools and everything, okay, to go and do what? To fight the war of liberation.
Tell me which music was that, Sally? Tell me that music.
There was lots of it, Yamazulu.
No, tell me one.
Chimurenga music. Kings.
Chimurenga music. Thomas Mafumo.
Vanhu vese vemuno muAfrica.
Right. Okay. You go ahead, son.
But anyway, well, you see, when your livelihood depends on the people being your fans, okay, and those people, you know very well, for those people to get that money to pay to come and see your show, okay, it takes them a lot to do that. So I'm sorry, your loyalty is to your people, not to a political party. Your people are suffering. Your country is suffering. Okay. You have the platform. You have the power. Use it, and use it wisely. Yes, you're going to fall by the wayside. You're going to suffer. You know what? The people are suffering.
Right. Okay,
People
Sally.
are suffering, and you taking their money.
Okay, Sally, thank you so much for that. Let me read.
Can I just help him Muzuguru no Mazulu? Maybe she didn't understand the song that we were talking about.
Okay.
But she would understand, she would recognize this one. The Sia Kona the song.
Can you sing it, Seko?
Sia Kona, Sawa Kuzila Mamako, Sabamba Mafuno, Sawa Funga Wanga, Sawa Kuzila
But even South Africa, I mean, we had the most fantastic liberation songs. Okay,
Yeah.
from Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, Blacksmith Mambaso, there were hundreds, thousands of them. Okay?
Yes, they were. All right. Sally, for the sake of moving on, I know there's a lot of people now on the panel wanting to speak as well, but also want to encourage people to send us messages, Kunokuma Studio, so that, we don't just hear what people on the panel are saying, but we want to hear what other people outside the channels are saying. Koma Sodza, people these days have no morals. Very few men stand for anything anymore. Forget standing up for what one's principles or the greater good. We live in a self-centered society. Zvangu zvaita, zvangu zviri kufaya, inini chete, chakanyanya. Hanzi chinini chakanyanya. I admire. Kwanze chinini.
Inini.
Or inini chakanyanya, yes. I admire one Ray Charles. He was banned from playing in the state of Georgia for decades for refusing to play to a segregated crowd. He left a lot of money on the table because he stood up for what is right. He stood with the masses and he was greatly awarded for it, standing for the just. I think Kunoku diaspora, we should stop promoting some of these artists who seem to be hired songbirds with those interested, with whose interests are not aligned with the general public. That's another very unhappy customer there. Then this one, and right, kwanzi DJ ini ndakafonerwa nemunhu from Zimbabwe, hanzi hameno hako uri kusarira vanhu vese vakaita ana Chimbwido nana Mujibha nevakamboda kuenda kuhondo vakadzokera panzira vari kunyoresa kumabhesi kwavo kuti vapihwe mari yepension. How is that relevant to this topic? But anyway, that's what's coming. Now, Tetano Mazulu, your volume is very low. I don't know what I can do there.
Yeah, it's 100% here. There is nothing else I can do.
Okay, all right. Would you like to contribute?
Absolutely, yes. There is lack of politicization at all. Our youth are not politicized. And, when they go singing around with these political parties, it's not so much they are convinced about Zanu or are they convinced about MDCT or what? I think Varukudamari Sese, yeah, and then they go. The thing is, akuna politicization kumusha. So, kana kusina politicization yachona, how do you condemn somebody to sell his soul or her soul for singing? Because, at home, the situation is so hard. It's survivors. It's not like Kunoku German. Kunoku German, I can sincerely say, look, I will never vote for CDU maker, you know, and it will work for me. I'll get everything that I want. It's not the same thing in Zimbabwe. You know, you can't say, Kuti, I'm not going to vote Zanu PF, you know. Auchapiwa rice yachona, auchapiwa chibake, auchapiwa ngi oil yachona, you know. So it's so different. So when we discuss these things, you know, we should discuss them and ask ourselves, at what level? Is it Zimbabwe level or, you know, where you are, you know? Because this, you know, this discussion, yekuti vakomana variku yimbirani ngezanu PF, you know, I can imagine kuti it's not a problem at all. You know, I've seen bands being, you know, sent from one political party to the other. There is no problem at all. They switch on, in fact. But if it's CDU, they will switch on to CDU songs. If it's Social Democrats, they will switch on. Because it's industry. So don't bring these artists more politics. It becomes very difficult, you know. Leave them alone and divide them around. You know, yeah, don't indulge. They are an industry on their own.
Okay, Tete, let me pose a question to you. If you are an artist in Zimbabwe right now and you're asked to come and play at a Zanu rally in Harare there, and they offer you money, would you go and perform? Sorry.
If you ask me,
No.
But if you ask me,
yes.
if I was in Blawayo and I was staying in Chabalala, where I was staying before, and the Andine Zara, Andina Fuja, you know, certainly I will go.
You go.
But then the thing is this, in Panapa, you know, I have been here 39 years, in a politicization of some kind, you know. I can afford to say I don't sell my soul, yeah, for Zanu PF, because I can afford it. Already I'm 60 in a pension, a very decent pension, yeah, so I can afford to say that. But can I afford to say that if I was saying in Tamalan?
No, that's all I wanted to hear, Tete Nomazulu, that yourself, if you were in Shabalala and you are asked by the Mugabe regime, even though you don't agree of what they are doing to their people, you are happy to go and collect that bloody money because you are hungry. So you go and get that money. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. No, thank you so much for clarifying that. Thank you. Now ndakwenda pana mkoma Wilbert hapo. Mkoma Wilbert, nyaya irimo mudariro mainzwa iyi. Kwanzi nevamwe, please don't tell us about reforms today.
Why not? Reforms But to come back to this issue, I think Nomazolo was right. I think what we've got to appreciate here is some of these youth who go and perform, and if we say what they're earning is blood money, what about those youth who are the Zanu PF youths, who are the ones frog marching people to these rallies, who are the ones who are
money.
We have been praising Mugabe, calling him an angel. You know, what are we going to call them? I think we are looking at here a situation where if somebody is singing and is not singing in praise of Mugabe or going overboard to praise him about what he has done, at least that is forgivable. Whereas there are some people out there who actually go out of their way to praise Mugabe, and not only that, but to do his dirty work. Right now we are talking of my elections are coming up, and we know there are going to be a lot of rallies. There are going to be a lot of people being harassed and beaten, some raped, and some were even murdered. You know, those are the people we should be also be focusing on before we start condemning somebody for singing. But having said that, I agree that in a society, if you're going to move an agenda, you need to have everybody pulling in the same direction. And it is a pity that the likes of Thomas Mapfumo have made a stand, and we have not been forthcoming in supporting them and praising them, and that in its way undermines their sacrifice. You know, those who have decided that no, my interests are more important to me than the common cause. They have prospered, and we have literally looked down on those people who had made the sacrifice, and I think that is a big mistake. Those who make a stand, I think we should support them. But I agree with what Nomo is saying as well, that there is need to educate the people, to politicize them, to understand what the implications are. In this particular case, my first call would be, even if I was in Zimbabwe right now, one of the things that I would say to, if I had a cousin or a son or an uncle who is in these ZANU-PF youths, is to tell them, sit down with them and saying, do you realize with some of the things you are doing, you could actually find yourself in serious trouble when there is regime change. Because some of it is definitely criminal, you know, and that money is definitely blood money. And I think that is what we should be focusing on.
Okay, no, that's fine. So, Imimi Mkoma Benford, Mkoma Wilbert, if you're in Zimbabwe and you're an artist and you're asked to come and play for ZANU-PF, you will go there, all smiles, and get the money and run and feed your family.
Well, let's be honest here. What I've said is, if you are looking at a situation where I've got no job, unemployed, and I decided to go into music and I get that opportunity, it's probably the only $3,000 I'll earn for the rest of the year. And that is the truth. Because right now, even if you perform Kunana, some of the hotels in Harare and so forth, so many people are so poor that charging them even $2 entry you're asking for too much. You know, so the reality of it is the economics. But I think also what we've got to condemn here is the way the situation in Nigeria, I think Feve did refer to it, how ZANU-PF commandeered all the resources. ZANU-PF can afford to pay all these musicians all these fantastic fees to perform because they are looting in Marange. And that is what we as society should be looking at as well. You know, the playing field is not fair. Why should the country finance Mugabe's Nankiri rallies and Nankiri Grace Mugabe's rallies, but cannot finance Feve's rally? That is not fair. It's not a playing field that is fair. And that's where the reforms comes in.
All right.
Know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
sikhuluma ngodaba lokusukuma sisukume sihambe siyeregister siregister ukuvota brought to you in case of National Electoral Reform Agenda inera sithi thina together stronger stronger together sisonke silamandla sisonke silithese thine simba
before the hour of 11 Zimbabwe. You are tuning into Zimnet Radio. This is the Men's Corner Show. My name is DJ Sodza. We juicy panel tonight, talking about why these young artists are, lured to play, to go and perform in Zanu PF rallies. Is it for money? Is it because they are affiliated with them? Why don't they play for the opposition parties as well? Some are going further and say, actually, whoever plays at a Zanu rally should never be allowed to be sponsored to come into diaspora to play. What if those guys are Zanu PF supporters? What if they are Zanu PF supporters? How can you stop them? I don't know. The track anandiri kuridzapo from Nera kwanziko vanhu vanosungirwa kuti vaende vando register kuvota. People are aged to go and register to vote, even the youths as well, so that they can cast their votes. Chief Sose, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. No fara kuwe pano. Magadi muri Zimbabwe. Magadi wamwese wema vadare varipo nasi.
Tinosinura edu mambo asi naimi vasosimi chief mombe ndiani chikwakana sose
sose ndo arizive nyika nje ana mukanya kai tisivambire vacho vainzi mbirire land tisivambire vacho arizive nyika
ndangofunga kuti zvandiri prince chikwakaka sokuka kwangu sose anga achitova muranda muzukuru watakagovera
sekuru zvonati uyaitikunyatsokuudzai nhoroondo yacho yezimbabwe
I think izvozvo mozotaurirana kuseri izvozvo ndoda kunzwawo kuna vasvosve ava kuti naima vasvosve munoionawo sei nyaya yaparurwa pano yemaartist anondoplaya kwana baba vachatunga. Is that any problem if they go and play there? Is it a problem to anybody?
There's a big problem. Pane nyaya sezvakaurwa nevasikana vanga vakomana vekubhurwa vanga vachiimba ava. Pane nyaya, pane ndava. You give me a little bit more time here, DJ. I want to explain something to the people of Zimbabwe. And when I explain, I will always give evidence. I've already. You remember when we started the Nera rallies, Nera youth rallies. Our mission was to educate the people of Zimbabwe on voter education. It wasn't really political. It was an educational program. And we said we want the youth to come and perform, and when they do that, we don't want them to just come. They must come and we'll pay them whatever we can afford as Zimbabweans. Our first Nera rally, youth rally, was in Chitungwiza. And on the first evidence that I sent you, there is a contract of performance between Nera and the manager for Soul Jah Love and Killer T. And Soul Jah Love, if you see again from the other evidence that I sent you, conversation with Mr. Mugari, the Nera organizing secretary. And I have receipts for that, because I was sending some of the money. And 2 days before the event, imagine these people actually gave us permission after they signed the contract to put them on the poster. I sent you the poster. They were supposed to come to Tungwiza. 2 days, but they are not coming. I picked up the phone. I spoke to the manager. I even demanded to speak to Soul Jah Love himself. But they say you can't speak to him. And Soul Jah Love himself, one day, if you're going to bring him on the show, I can go face to face with him. He told me that they are not going to come to Chitungwiza because they don't perform on political events. That's what he said. And then I said, how dare you? You got our money and you are saying you don't perform on political events. Why did you take the money? And then he started going rounds and rounds that the manager didn't tell me exactly that this Morgan Tsvangirai will be there and other political leaders will be there. We thought it was just a voter education event. Okay, fine. You don't want to come and perform. $1,400 we gave them. Up to now, nothing has been brought back. Killer T was even in England when he agreed to come and perform. And our $1,000 was never brought back. It's a case before the police, but the police, right now, I've spent $200 giving some of these police officers money to go and take these guys down. I mean, the manager, the actual manager, Gift Benjamin, who received the money. You saw my the singers, you know. And these are young men. These are the youth we are talking about who are supposed to come. We thought they were going to encourage other youth, millions other youth. But they spanned that opportunity. And we're not saying they should come and do it for free. You know, investigations further were revealing that they were saying, oh, we have been visited by CIOs that we should not come and perform. But I don't think that is true. These boys are just being used by Zanu PF, and they are being used willingly. They want to. They want to. Because there are other youth, like the band that we're just playing right now, that song, that new Nera song. We paid for the money that for the creation of that song, you know. So they have a choice. And a Killer T and a Soul Jah Love have a choice. They are doing it. They are bringing everything that they are bringing to themselves willingly. And I support all those people who are saying these people should not be supported in the diaspora. They should never be supported in the diaspora because they are propping up a regime that is disadvantaging millions other youth. And that should not be allowed. And I'm very, very disappointed with them. That's why I've kept all this evidence. Because one day, that's what those people are doing. This money that we're giving them is not coming from any white man or any white organization. It's money that is coming from Zimbabweans who are taking from their paychecks. And then they just take it. And they don't go and perform. I don't know what Mr. Moyo is going to say on that.
Mr. Moyo is
right. If our young Zimbabweans are behaving this way, it's very unfortunate. I don't know where we are heading. They are going to those that
let's have a conversation, Washoshe. Let's have a conversation. Yeah, I know. Okay, Vamoyo is bursting in laughter there. I would like to hear from him in due course. But I want to pose a question to you, Chief Soshe. I can tell you've sent me all the evidence here that you hired them to play at the Chitungwiza rally, the Nera rally, and they let you down in the last minute saying that the reason was that they do not play at political rallies. Now, now that is very interesting development. But anyhow, the question I want to ask you is, if yourself was in Zimbabwe and you are a youth, prominent youth like Wanakila Tina and Soul Jah Love, and you live in Zimbabwe and you are summoned by Zanu PF to come and play for them, knowing fully that failure to attend that rally, you almost be dead tomorrow, would you not go and perform?
Well, I mean, it's not about going to perform. If they want to go and perform to ZANU-PF rallies, let them go. But if they sign a contract that they are going to perform at an opposition rally, they should honor it. They should honor it.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot dictate who they can go and play for. I mean, it's like Chimbetu. Chimbetu ended up playing at all NERA rallies. And he was attacked by ZANU-PF CIOs, and it was in the papers. What did he tell them? He tells them that I perform at NERA rallies because that's my line of business. That's my source of income. If NERA comes calling and they're paying me, I'll do that. And if you ZANU-PF come calling and you give me the money that I charge you, I'll come and perform because that's the nature of my business.
Okay.
That's what Chimbedu told them.
Okay.
For these boys, the bottom line is they have a choice.
Okay.
They can say no if they want to.
Okay.
You know, and it's not like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, Kuti, my only worry is that when we talk and we are in diaspora, we are in the comfort zone. Now I'm putting myself in the shoes of these guys. If they are in Zimbabwe and they are summoned to play at a ZANU-PF rally, and failure to go there, they get into serious trouble there, or even risking their life. Or in other words, attending that NERA rally could have put them in jeopardy, life-threatening. You can't blame them if this is the situation that is in Zimbabwe. Can you really?
No, DJ, that's not right. The song that you just played right now is the youth in Blawayo. We made them to create that song, and they played at the Blawayo Youth Rally, and they created that song, and it's being played. In Chinoy, we went to Chinoy again. There were youth that we contracted. They played at the NERA Youth Rally. Nothing happened to them. Chimbetu has been playing to them. So let's not magnify this.
Okay.
Killer T and Soul Jah Love are selling out. That's the bottom line.
All right.
And nobody. I'm calling upon all the people in the diaspora and all the support.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Tete mashoko maswera sei?
Tamboswera zvedu makadiyo emukwasha wangu.
Aiwa, tinofara chose kuriseiko kunobviwa?
Kunobviwa kuri nane hando mushana iwoyo. Zviri kunakidza.
Tete mashoko, dai mamuri kuZimbabwe muchiimba modaidzwa nevakomana vezanu kunzi uyai mutiridzire tokupai $5,000 pano. Would you say no to that?
No. You have got a family to feed, and not only that. I'm surprised pane vanhu vandandichexpecta kuti vangangodrowa maparallels of nguva yaSmith nenguva ino. Do you know that what it highlights is the brutality of ZANU-PF? That's what it actually highlights. Nekuti isusu nguva yana Smith, I think ndo patati kureyo zvedu grade 7 and so forth. And we remember very well vana Thomas Mapumo waiti ukanzwa richirira dzimbo let me backtrack. Vana Thomas Mapumo tainzwa dzimbo dzavo patumaredhiyo tudikiso. Pai vanhu vachiteerera, I think this was being transmitted from Zambia and Mozambique and something like that. And you knew what it meant. They motivated people. They actually had a very straightforward message. And psychologically, they knew what they were doing. Here is why. When there's a vast difference between a person who is in need for the money, and then my British will say, and between a person who is doing it for the heart. So if you are doing it for the heart, this is Trutorama activists. Trutorama who are going against the grain. Vanoti, my human rights are human rights. period, money doesn't come into it. I'm going to give you a good example. Those who follow football, America. This guy called Kepinski or something like that, I can't pronounce his name. He has actually millions of dollars, millions. Nobody has signed him up because anger actually believer, in which was, I'm not going to stand up for national anthem here in America because he doesn't respect my blacks per se. Saka vana vamuri kutora muchipa my examples. If you look at Japresh, and I'm not
Committee singled out.
No, I'm not singling him out. So what I'm trying to say is the life that they are leading is, they are in the parallel lanes near Hollywood. Those are that big house, that big car, I'm going to take you into the gutter for a second. If you remember Nyaya or Linda, those who were following it, she was actually paying the husband, Mari, so that I live that lifestyle expect of somebody who is successful in music industry. Zimbabwe is struggling. As such, how much can people genuinely afford to pay kuenda kunonzwa Japanese or Banastana or whoever else varikuri? Hakuna mari. So what we should really be saying, the conversation should be along the lines of who are my activists, who vanoimba, who are talented. And the sad part, usually those people are not prominent because avazi funded, because they actually do when the government and they are suppressed. The point then should be, my political parties should actually identify those people, support them. Kuti vave kune vanhu vanoita netembo dzekuti kana iwe wega unoti yes mazuva ano painternet tiri kuvaona. Those are the kind of the thinkers, those are the kind of people that don't understand the people's rights, vasiri for the money. And it's not really up to us, as said as it sounds, I agree, at the end of the day, it's not up to us to say, no, we can't. Because if they have actually said, I'm in need for the money, more power to them. It's just them. It's like somebody telling me, as a nurse, a nurse, and then you can't work for a year because that's totally out of it. It's about A, the environment. B, what do you want as an individual? C, it's about a message audience yacho chaiyo ndeipi nekuti andisikuona vechidika zvino. If you look vari kutora Bev, what can Bev really tell vana vechidiki achitamba music here kuti it just doesn't. You are talking of a simply different stable altogether with different horses who are like-minded, who have the same focus as my political parties. Then my political parties actually, my activists very abroad, my resources, identifying them, giving them my profiles, supporting them left, right, and center, supporting them to polish those messages, making sure that they are strategically placed, whether kunana mbembesi, whether kupi, so that this message, why should people vote in the first place? Why is it important to vote? Should munhu wese nyangwe pari pa center they have access to that. I don't see Japresh achienda kunoimba kwa Gutu right in the middle of nowhere. Azviitike because yake zvaanoda iye ari kutargeta a specific demographic, let's put it that way. I think ndo pane point yangu.
Ndo pane point yenyu. Right. Someone is kind of agreeing with you here, Teto Mashoko. Kwanziko You see, DJ, when people are in it for money, you cannot blame them. They can go and play any way they want. Now, the problem that we've got is those people that are in it for money, they have got sponsors. They can go and play at Zanu rally and get their thousands of dollars, and they put their music online on YouTube and everywhere, so that it is reached by the wider majority. Yet people who have got no sponsors, nothing, we have got some really encouraging words for people, are nowhere to be seen. I think they're just kind of adding to what you are saying there, Tito Mashoko. Let me hear from Vamoyo. Vamoyo, what's your take on all this?
Ndangachinakidzwa hangu ne-evidence yangaichitaurwa nachief Soswe. Let's look at the evidence yacho iyoyo in the first place. The evidence there is vakatora mari ndokupa vakomana kuti uyai muridze. So Chief Soswe, the message yamakaenda nayo kuvakomana yakanga iri yemari. It was about money. And your bitterness now is about money, not the message. It's about money. The evidence actually points to the contrary of your allegations that these guys will go there for money. Because given the money, they can still turn it down. And they've done it. So that is the evidence which is there.
Okay,
Vamoyo,
I understand what you're saying, but if Chief Soswe's reason, what he has said, Kuti, Wakati, we are turning you down a day before this rally on the basis of we didn't know that this is a political rally. We do not go and perform on political rally. Why would they go to a Zanu PF political rally if they are not going to the NERA political rally?
It therefore means the reason they gave was just a reason. They were just looking for something to say.
No, it was an excuse, is it?
Yes,
okay.
For them, in fact, they were simply giving something or anything, let me say anything, to tell you that we are not coming. So, whatever reason, they are going to church, I mean, the reason could not have mattered. So what mattered at the end of the day is they were not coming.
So what you are telling me is that it might not have been that specific reason we don't play at political rallies. Is it you now telling us that? We take their word for it.
No. You cannot say it's me telling you that. When they were now performing per youth rally Mugabe, was that not political?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would they say we don't play on political yet Mangwana only or play on political?
Which is exactly what I'm saying. It therefore simply means what they were giving there was any reason. I mean, they could have said anything else. But the bottom line is they were simply saying we are not coming.
No, that's why when we put 1 + 1 together, we look at it as were they intimidated to go and play at a Zanu PF rally, fearing for their life?
No. They are not the only ones who have not played there. There are many other players, singers who could have come, who did not come. I mean, I mean, what are the consequences? What you are failing to see, what you are failing to realize in the these youths, these youngsters, they have a belonging. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Soul Jah Love. This same guy, and a song yakaimba specifically for President Mugabe. Are you aware? Ajimba kuzimdanso. He has a song yakatoimba specific. He composed and sang a song specifically for the president. So today, how do you suddenly say he was forced to come? To me, it doesn't make sense at all. And do you know, sometimes when we go to the people, let us try to be honest and tell the truth. For example, Teta Thomas Mafumu was singing through Radio Mozambique. How did he get his music through to Mozambique? To Mozambique. Thomas Mafumu was in Harare, for example. He never, not even just a bit of a song through Radio Mozambique. That did not happen. If you know it, which song was that? That was sung through Radio Mozambique. So, I mean, if we go to these people and present falsehoods and fabrications, these people know Mararamiro Avo, they know what is happening to them. So for us to come and present something else, it doesn't make sense.
No,
the other thing that I wanted to say is, in addition to Havana Chiefs also having absolutely no message to these youth, besides hoping, dangling some dollars in their face, then they will suddenly come on board. He is actually threatening them to say, no, we are going to do this. They are not supposed to come here. And This amounts to a complete threat. And the moment you threaten these people, you are simply pushing them into a corner. And not to your corner, but to the other corner. You are simply campaigning for the other corner there, where they are accepted with no consequences.
Before you go any further, let me respond to that. We are having a conversation here. First of all, if you're listening to what I said earlier, we said these were NERA youth rallies. And when we started them, I didn't talk about money. I said if they were NERA youth rallies, we therefore had to involve the youth. That's the reason why we decided to rope in youth singers with youth performers. And that's why we zeroed in on those youth performers. So at first it wasn't even about the money. It was about giving it at the same time supporting them, not doing it for free. Paying them for the services that they would have rendered. And it's not only that. If you look, if I send you the messages right now, the feedback I'm getting from the youth that performed in Chinoi, they are so overwhelmed. We exposed them to 10,000 people. And they're saying, Mukoma, please, when are you coming back to March West? This song, Mr. Moyo, that you heard DJ Sodza playing at the break, it was composed just before the Blawa Youth Rally. And they just performed it, they just composed it. And
no, we had that from
they were paid for that.
No, we had that.
Zimbabweans paid them for that. So we are actually helping, supporting, like what Mashoko was saying. Because these people need to be supported. We are supporting them. We are supporting their talent. We are supporting their talents here. So it's not like we went there and dangled money.
Okay.
During your time, you spoke, nobody, intercepted. And this is my time as well. So what I'm saying is, you will call it NERA Youth Rally.
So why did they take the money? Why did they take the money?
Yeah, but if you go there dangling the money,
I didn't dangle.
No, you
went there. You went there dangling the money. So if you go there dangling the money, that's your problem.
All right.
Can I just comment there, DJ?
Okay, but I'm Magadaro. Mkoma Wilbert.
I think what Nkiri Chief Nkiri also has got to admit is that when you say NERA, you cannot say it is not political. Everybody knows that NERA is supported by the opposition.
I didn't say it was not political.
Okay, let me comment. Let me finish. Then the other point that our friend Moyo is denying here is that I think it has already been mentioned that Chimbetu did perform and he was threatened. And Zanu PF CIO have been threatening people. And I think Chief Soshe did mention from the conversation he had with these guys, some of them were saying they were told, this is a political, don't go and perform. So in other words, they were being threatened. And for him, Moyo, to now to say it is the opposition threatening these people, it's totally disingenuous here. We know the main threat comes from ZANU-PF, and that is a fact.
Yes, but the evidence that we have, I do not have the evidence of them being threatened by anyone else. All I heard is Chief Soshe threatening, no, I mean, that threat to them, what you are simply doing is, you are simply saying, okay, if you give us a chance, this is what we are going to do it to you. And you are simply telling them never to give you that chance. It's simple as that.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. And when we talk of Mugabe's rallies, we have seen the president going to various other countries where there have been these functions. Him getting a standing ovation from the ordinary people there. Is he paying them? Does he have to pay them? On all these countries, we saw that in South Africa, in Zambia, in Kenya, wherever he goes, this is what happens to him. So why would you think that Zimbabweans are different from, that reception that he gets from all these other Africans? Why would Zimbabweans be different? And the simple fact that you are denying is, you guys, you need to come up with a message that resonates with these people. This is all that you need. You need a message. Those are just, rules.
Okay.
They don't take you.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. Wait. Chief Sose, Batai Makadaro. Wapepe, I know you want to say something, and Sekuru wants to say something before we go to bed there. But let me say this. It's 25 minutes after 11 now. Regai timboti pinde mchitoro bichana. Timbo ngira mvuraka. Todzoka. Then we want to conclude Panap, and I want to know the impact.
It's not about money.
Chronicles 7 verse 14. Kana vanhu vangu vakatumidzwa nezita rangu vakazvininipisa, vakanyengetera nokutsvaga chiso changu nokurega nzira dzavo dzakaipa, ipapo ndichanzwa kudenga, ndichavakanganwira zvivi zvavo nokupodza nyika yavo. Hallelujah. Wafundisi udzaiwana yose taurirana ikani kuti mafane mhoni zvipote Zimbabwe yose taurirana ikani kuti mafane mhoni zvipoterwe Zimbabwe yose taurirana ikani kuti mafane mhoni zvipoterwe nyika yedu nyika yedu nyika yedu Jesu nyika yedu nyika yedu nyika yedu Jesu nyika yedu nyika yedu nyika yedu Jesu nyika yedu nyika yedu nyika yedu Jesu
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Zimnet Radio. Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Zimnet Radio, the people's internet radio station with the people's favorite DJs. Stay tuned.
Join DJ Sodza and his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
Kuti chirongwa chisvike pamvura yacheka makumbo, so we must use this time wisely. Now guys, I know we have talked a lot about why these youth choose to go and play in these rallies, but let me ask this question to all of you then, that really we might be talking about it, but is it really going to change the outcome of the election result? Really? What impact does these, artists have in swaying the vote come 2018?
I think looking at it, it has virtually no bearing whatsoever. Most of these people, it's because of the poverty background. They just want to survive. They can't wait until 2018 Tatama elections for a new government. Between now and then, they need to survive. But most of the people, they very well know the source of the problems is RPF. So, but again, we must not be complacent from an opposition point of view to say because the source of their problems, we therefore must not preach the gospel. Go out there and make make it known what is in terms of our policies. How are we going to turn around the situation? How is change going to benefit even our PF? So I think the fact of the matter is we have seen this before. For your information, Mugabe is not the first dictator in Africa. We've seen quite a lot of dictators in Africa, and they've fallen by the wayside in the same manner. Takaona Anakamuzu Banda, we saw even from Anakaunda, we saw coming up to East Africa and West Africa. They fall the same way. And yes, they, like Zaita Wanamoyo, where they go, they can actually amass a crowd. But does not mean with Vese, but there is a Kukuma rallies, let us being in Mashiringo. We are actually aware of what was happening there. People were being forced to go to that rally, especially Massive for 7 years, including contributing $1. And with the threats. I know that Zanu PF doesn't carry out threats. I don't know which Zanu PF is he talking about, because the Zanu PF that I know does not only issue threats, it follows them through. Those Zanu PF. If you go to poor areas, there are harrowing stories. You go there, you get people with chopped hands. Many eyes Zanu PF. So they follow through. This is a thuggish political part. Even it's not a political party. These are gangsters who are looters. And what we are saying here is, yes, we've seen these youths going Wachinowa Imbira, but mark my words, that has no bearing whatsoever in terms of the outcome of the election. The outcome of the elections is the battleground of the political parties and what they have to offer. A political party that have been in power for 38 years cannot today promise Zimbabweans a new beginning. That is not possible. A 94-year-old cannot promise Zimbabweans as the savior of the new generation. That is ridiculous, and that is just sheepish.
Okay, Ayuwa, Sekuru. Sekuru, to move on, the question is, what impact does these artists have playing at these rallies? What impact is that gonna have on the outcome of the 2018 general election? People are saying zero.
Well, music has got an influence that it can never be understood. When we hear music, we raise certain emotions of exhilaration. And in that exhilaration, somebody might be just caught by the message in the music and also the message at the occasion. So we can't write off the impact completely. Whether it will directly influence the election or not is debatable. All I can say is, at the present moment, I can understand from a point of view of being patriotic, those people that are saying, why should people sing for our poverty? I can understand that. And the impact that it will have is based on that emotion. That they are singing for our poverty and we are enjoying it, we forget our poverty, and we vote along with our artists, because these are ambassadors. They tend to influence opinions in a way that we may not quite understand, but they do influence opinions. So the best thing is, when you have an issue like these artists playing for Zanu PF, the best thing is to counter that by getting your own artists who play for your own party, so that you get the good ones. You also get the good ones because they are not only in Zanu. Now, I just want to touch a bit on what Mr. Moyo was saying to this audience, that Mugabe gets standing ovations wherever he goes, but he doesn't pay. Well, he does pay. We know that he does pay because he has got called Chimurenga at the United States, at the United Nations conference. with the megaphones throughout the conference. They were saying Mugabe is right. Mugabe is right. They didn't tell us what he was right for. Now, that is the job of a paid person. They did their job. What we didn't do is we didn't find enough people, volunteers, because we rely on volunteers to counter that. You go to any country that he gets standing ovation, he pays because he has got links with the revolutionary parties. Those revolutionary parties do pay. Chama Pinduzi sends its choir to Mugabe's conferences every year. So ANC sends its delegates to Mugabe's conferences every year. And the reciprocal action is the same. They support him, he supports them. So to tell us it doesn't pay, it does pay. The other thing that I want to emphasize is when we come to the music itself, to the music that is being, I want to totally agree with Pepe that we should not sit on our laurels and say it won't have an effect. It has an effect. How we counter that is of material consequence to our survival. Yes, there are issues around the age of the president. There are issues about the length of the junta's stay in power and the archaic policies that it is using. But what we are not doing enough of is to drum up that. You can hardly find, at the present moment we are concentrating on the trivia of negotiating coalitions. That is forgone. We need time to campaign for somebody. And until such time as we come to our courage and say, this is the person who's going to lead the coalition, the anxiety that we are creating is working against us. So I personally believe that we should now announce somebody to lead the coalition. And if we do that, all these notions about people singing, they will now be overtaken by the event, which is the major event of announcing the coalition.
Okay. I concur with you there, Sekuru. I still remember having a conversation in Amkoma teacher, and he bashed me and said you are shallow when it comes to political things. This coalition will announce who is going to lead when we are ready and all that. And I'm thinking it's less than a year now. Really, people should be knowing who is going to lead that coalition. But anyway, that was only my thoughts. Sani,
with Seguru here.
Sorry?
Let me just agree with what Seguru said about Mugabe and ZANU-PF not paying. ZANU-PF pays for everything. Recently, there was a headline in the newspaper saying ZANU-PF has donated $1 million to was it SADC or African Union? How does ZANU-PF donate $1 million? It's a government that is failing to pay its employees, and it donates its donation in quotation marks. That's how they pay. When we go to SADC, when we go to OAU, our cases are not going to be heard. These people are going to stand by Mugabe because he paid them. You know, he just made the payment. So it's not like that Mugabe doesn't pay. He pays. Okay. He always wants to defend the indefendable. And going back to our issue of the musicians, Mr. Moyo doesn't want me to be angry when money was taken away from us as Zimbabweans, you know, because himself is being paid to do what he does. He's being paid to do the propaganda that he does. Nobody pays us as Zimbabweans. Nobody pays me to do what I do, the work that I do. You know, so if $2,000 is taken away from me, I have every right to be angry, and I have every right to express my anger. I'm different from Moyo. Moyo is being paid.
Can I make a comment?
Right. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, ndimotaurawo. I think I was shocked because this music is not going to make an impact. Last time I said it on this show, sekuru vakanga vachiti we should consult people like Wanape, Benana Tiche, and I doubted that statement. It's a statement like this that makes me feel like with Wanape, they are not even being good consultants. Music is going to make an impact. Right now, the major problem in opposition is to get in touch with the rural population. And it is things like my musical event that can help these people get in touch with the rural population. Last week, Alex Macheso had a concert yakaita kuhange ku village. If you read that, you see opportunity that the opposition can take advantage of. And this is being missed. There's no impact. That's how you bring people. Kana vauya makuarticulate nawo. Right now ukaneta concert yako mubhikita zikataura kuti Alex Macheso is coming. I can assure you everyone will come. Not necessarily because they want to come for the MDC. They want to see Macheso, but you take advantage of that to connect around. Now, and they are going to miss that opportunity.
Can I clarify something there, DJ?
Can I have my turn?
The other thing, for you to expect everyone, every musician would have a protest musician at this stage, I think it's being unrealistic. Being unrealistic. If you have seen a good killer T, find other people. There are so many people who are in the protest music.
You are getting it wrong. Why did they take the money? Why did they take the money? Why did they take the money?
Now, coming
no, answer the question. They take the money.
Okora, let me answer you. Coming to the issue, Emari, if he gives a contract with you and he did not deliver, that's a criminal case. Go and sue him to court. It's as simple as that.
You know, that's the problem we have as Zimbabweans. You can't keep on talking. You can't keep talking. You have to give others a chance. We know we are forgetting one thing here. There is something called Ubuntu.
This is the last time I have.
No, Wilbert. No, you've been talking for the past 5 minutes.
This is not Wilbert. Let me finish. Now go further.
They are backwards.
Now, the other thing that you need to be very, very careful with the this notion that Zanu PF therefore should be a problem and you should be punished by every Zimbabwe in the world over. That is where we get it wrong. Even if Soul Jah Love Zanu PF, don't assume that everyone in the diaspora support the opposition and is not Zanu PF. Why would we punish him? He's a musician, he wants to earn a living, and we should always remember that these people, that's how, and it's even a risk. This is what happened to
right. Alright. Now let me respond, DJ. He responded to me, so let me respond to him.
Yeah,
right. You're getting it wrong, Nkoma. You're getting it very wrong here. There is an African saying that says Ubuntu. In Ubuntu, we have something that is called honest. And that's what we miss sometimes as Zimbabweans. And we've let people get away with stuff that they're not supposed to get away with. It's an ethos, it's a value that we must even begin to export in ourselves if Zimbabwe is going to get better. These young men, these youth were dishonest. Their manager was dishonest. And they should be condemned for that. And that's what I came condemning here. The dishonest part. That they took money, they signed a contract, and then a day later they walked out of the contract. And if you don't see anything wrong with that, then there's going to be it's going to be very difficult for us as Zimbabweans to go back to where the other countries are. We should condemn something, this is utter dishonest. And if a leader, if someone who is supposed to be leading by example, leading youth, telling the youth how it is done, is being so dishonest. And I'm coming with you come here and say it's fine for them to do that. I'm not assuming that these people should come and support opposition. We approach them and they agree. I don't know who is Zanu PF and who is not Zanu PF. Saying I'm going to come.
All right. Okay. Can I ask you, Sally?
Start respecting that as Zimbabweans.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
You all overran me and you took my turn.
Can Sally chip in, please?
Music is terribly important. Very, very important, especially to the youth. When you have what are called roadies, these are girls, if it's a guy band or a guy solo artist, okay? These are girls that will follow these guys to the ends of the earth and back. And they will do all sorts of things, sexual favors, all sorts of things for these guys, okay? These girls will vote wherever they think the guy is voting. When he appears at a Zanu PF concert, spot on, the guy Zanu PF, we vote Zanu PF. This is music. Music is the only thing that speaks to the soul, the very heart of the person, okay? That's what music is. And young people, you can look at it worldwide, okay? How important artists are, having heroes and following them and doing whatever they do, okay? What the artist does, the die-hard fans are going to do. This is just how it is. It doesn't matter whether you're in Africa, Europe, Americas, wherever. This is how people are. Okay? And so music is very, very important and holds a very high place in getting messages across and speaking to the people. Music is important. Okay, now you men, you can all bulldoze.
No, Sally, hold on a second. So you are saying, Sally, that let's not underestimate what music can. So you're saying that some of these artists can actually sway the vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Rapid, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I think what I was saying, and which I'll continue to say, is that as an opposition, can we stop them from singing to other political parties? The answer is no, we can't. Should we be diverted in fear that that will influence the direction of the outcome? Absolutely not. But what we are saying is we'll continue, we'll actually focus. We'll focus on outreach programs. We'll focus on the rural community, which actually is over 63% of the population. We'll focus in also to the youth, in communicating, making sure that we tell them that, look, we understand that the reason why they are singing for Zanu PF is not because they support Zanu PF, but it's because of the poverty. So we will continue to be focused towards the 2018 and to make sure that the message is very clear and crystal clear. But we cannot stop them if they want to sing for Zanu-PF or any other political party for that matter. And we understand that it is because of poverty. And we understand that that source of poverty is the very people that they are singing. But in terms of influence, look at it. In 2008, we saw people singing for Zanu-PF, but we trust Zanu-PF in any way, right? And in every election we've seen this. But it doesn't mean that even those constituencies that they focused in attracting artists, they won the constituencies. They lost the constituencies. But I think it is the message that we, the opposition, carry to the people that eventually will make a difference to the outcome. And this is my message, and that's what I was saying, and I'll continue to say that. And I think that is right for the opposition parties to concentrate rather than to be diverted by Zanu-PF.
Aiwa, ndinotenda zvikuru nemashoko akanaka kudaro wapfefe. I mean, maybe I must really clarify one thing here. I know that Vamoyo was laughing a lot when Chief Sose was talking about the evidence and what happened to him when they booked Killer T and Soul Jah Love to play at Chitungisa Nera. And also Mukoma Benford, you chipped in there. You know, I want to try to be very neutral here, guys. I do not like a situation where that musician got into a contract. You are going to play there at the Nera rally. It's all fine. You take the money, then you realize, hang on a minute, it is a political rally. We do not do political rally. They should have returned the money. That I cannot mince my words on that. They should have returned the money. And also, for them to come out saying that we do not play at political rallies, and then tomorrow they are seen at another political rally playing. I think that is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. We cannot say what they did was right. It needs to be condemned. They can go and play wherever they want to play, whether it's political or not, but they should not mess other people like that. That is not right. That's all I got to say on that one. I'm not taking sides here, but if I pay for someone to come and do my bathroom in my house, whether they are conservative or Labour here in the UK, whether I support Labour or whatever, if they say now we don't work for a black person here in the UK, fair and fine. If I had given them my money, they'll give me back my money. But I wouldn't be happy if a black man next door, they go and work for that black man next door. I don't think that's fair. But anyhow, it's their own. They do what they got to do.
Yeah. Mkoma, for anybody to do that, it is a matter of how much respect they have for you.
Moyo, please. Can't you stop explaining the inexcusable? These guys were disrespectful, they were rude, and they stole the guy's money. Finished.
No.
So you don't, Mamoyo, you don't see any wrong. You don't see any wrong about this.
Moyo will excuse Satan out of his job.
They've been sued.
No, they've not.
I told you the case is with the police right now. We reported the case to the police. And I told you that we've actually spent money trying to help the police follow up these guys, giving them money for fuel, but they'll be saying they don't have money for fuel. You know.
Mkoma Sodza, what I'm trying to say is these guys are all about money. And if you play with money, you are likely to either win it or lose it. That's all you do with money.
Who is the money gets taken in somebody's private country?
Moyo, I think you are just trying to be childish.
Yes, he's trying to upset everybody.
Because I don't think if I was to come to you and say, Mr. Moyo, can you do this for me? Or you come to me in rather and you say to me, can you do this to me? And I say, yes, for a fee. And then I charge you the fee. And then I say, I want the fee up front. And you pay. And then tomorrow, after I have received your payment, I acknowledge your receipt, I give you a receipt after you paid. Tomorrow I turn around and say, look, Mr. Moyo, so unfortunately I cannot deliver what you have paid for. And then you say, your next reaction would be, okay, if you can't, for your own reasons, can you then refund my money plus the interest? And then I say, I'm not giving you the money back again. I don't think you can justify that.
Is that what Soul Jah Love said? Did he refuse to give the money back?
He hasn't paid back.
No.
Of course, say no. Don't say
not
no.
having paid back is one thing.
No,
do you know
no.
what is called the IOU?
That's where the trivia starts. Don't say
okay.
No. Because
what I'm saying.
No, hang on. At that point, that is where the trivia comes in. The person who is complaining, the chief secretary, is saying, I've already spent money paying for fuel for the police to go and arrest these guys. What that means is that he is asking for them to pay back and they've refused. So now he has had to resort to the course of the law enforcers to enforce our own laws. But then you want to refuse that and say he must go to court. I don't understand. How does he go to court? And I don't understand your argument because at that point there, when you say he must sue them, he has done what he is supposed to do. These people did not pay back. In fact, they didn't have to be asked to pay back. They should have had an obligation to say, sorry, Mkoma, we received your money. We didn't know this is what is going to happen.
Yes.
Here's your money.
Yes.
We can't perform.
Straight away.
They don't even have to give an excuse. All they have to do is, we don't want to play, here's your money. Finish.
Asi vanhu muri kungatotemeswa musoro navamoyo sure ingava moyo vakupai statement yavataura kuti just in case you didn't know akaimbira Zanu PM meaning ndosaka vari kutaura kuti well really there's no need yekupuhwa mari back saka he's just wasting our time as usual vamoyo inini hangu handisikutukai inini hangu ndiri kurombo ndakamboita this request before hamuna kundipindura inini ndodo mari saka imi michimbondirifeyai kuna chef venyu ndikomushandira because it sounds like he pays really good.
Yeah,
he really pays well. That's why he's doing what.
And you don't have to give the money back if you don't do the job.
No.
When you talk about money, this is where you find yourself in this.
Moyo.
We can't talk about anything else because we are there in Australia looking for money. Okay, so don't talk about money as if we are not looking for money.
No, when I talk of this money, I'm not talking about the money that I earn.
Well, the money that Nera earns, the money that Soul Jah Love earns, is not different from the money that you earn. And it must be earned honestly. That's all we are saying. We are not saying money, we want to buy somebody services out of the money. No, we are saying we want to pay.
DJ, can we go back to the issue you raised?
Mkoma chirongwa chapera mkoma batai makadaro. Vamoyo. Ndikuziva kuti vanhu havazokupi mukana wekutaura. Taura ineni kutonga. Taura ineni. It's a simple question. Yeah, it's a simple question I need to ask you. So you're saying vanhu vakatora mari yevanhu and they didn't perform. Mari yakatoenda kudhara, they didn't do anything wrong there. Is that what you're telling me?
I never said that, and I will never say that.
What did you say?
Yeah. No. I am saying, in fact, the whole thing that I was talking about money, I was saying, you guys, when you went to these people, it was all...
Okay, Vamoyo, we don't have the whole night. We don't have the whole night. Inini ndabvunza hangu kuti ma-explainerwa situation yakaitika, and you still don't see any wrongdoing yakaitwa nema-artist what they did to this NERA organization. All I want to hear from you, I think they did wrong or they didn't do wrong. Not explain after that. That's all I want. I don't want any more stories. Zengana.
Yeah, it's not a straightforward yes no. In fact, they did wrong in that.
Because we can't go on and have an explanation for a person who doesn't want to answer a question which is as simple and straightforward as that.
No, I'm failing to answer.
But listen, if anybody ever signs a contract with Moyo,
yes,
don't pay him, and there's nothing wrong about it.
Okay, what I am saying is the aspect of getting money and not returning it is wrong. That is that nobody can condone that. It must be condemned.
I don't pay now, my parents, Mr. Moyo. If you did that happen to Zanu PF,
these youngsters,
this youth have done it to Zanu PF,
thinking this can bribe them.
That is right now.
No. They bribe business. The contract was they should come and play Kunera conference. They did not play. They were paid to do that. They did not deliver the service. They must pay back.
Yeah, they must pay back. And that is a criminal offense. So instead of taking this to a platform, a social platform like this, it must be taken in a court of law. It was
brought to this platform.
I'm not the one who brought this issue.
It was a point.
I'm not the one who brought this issue.
It was a point.
Yeah, this happened 2 months ago. This happened 2 months ago. I never brought it up myself. I would not have discussed it if it had not been discussed here. I didn't even know that this was what we were going to discuss today. So I'm not the one who brought it up. I was only trying to inform Zimbabweans.
It's a criminal case as such.
No, but we can't have among us people defending criminals. That's where we have
the problem. Exactly.
No,
exactly.
The problem is you are using that to tarnish image of your fan now.
What are you talking about? Yes, their image must be tarnished because they did wrong. Benford, what kind of a person are you?
And that's why it's a criminal case. That's why and
that's why their image is being tarnished because they did wrong. They were dishonest. If that doesn't mean anything,
this guy.
If that doesn't mean anything to you, then I don't know what kind of a African.
Okay.
Am I
Initially, Chief Soul tried to bribe my singers. That didn't work, it backfired. He went on to bribe the police again. What the man that you give to the police, what was it for? Trying to bribe the police?
Moyo, you don't even understand kuti ukamangara kesi yako kumapurisa kuZimbabwe. Vanoti une mota here uye
une mota here une peturu here.
Zvaitika kare izvozvo.
Car can be a problem. So when you're buying them a car.
Batai makadaro guys. Pamsore. Regaiti daiso. Chirongwa chedu chanhasi chaperera pano, but anyway, there's one of our colleagues Pazimnet Radio writing to me, Kwanzi DJ, what Chief Soshe must know is that dancehall performers are highly unreliable. They have a record of not turning up for shows when they have been paid. So hiring dancehall artists is a high risk. If they did not honor the contract, you have an option to sue them. Maybe they should do their due diligence. Kushikanziko nevamwe zvanzi, I agree with that. They are very unreliable and unprofessional. Now, then koya vamwe mukoma vari kunyora pano. Kwanzi iko sorry DJ for coming up with this. Kwanzi an artist angaimbe akapfeka military uniform utaura kuti ari kuimba nani revolutionary music. What is the link? Now I don't know what he is referring to here, but anyhow I think Nana
tell you
well, anyway.
Arasika Baguji, Lingi Arutaka, in Abasa, because Japanese was authorized by the military to be the military ambassador. And you can't do anything about that. He's an ambassador of the brand military through his songs because they realize they've got influence. So, from a marketing point of view, that's perfectly in order. What is not in order? What is not in order is for us as citizens, law-abiding citizens for that matter, to stand up for a crooked person. My fakes are Parisian from the side they are complaining. They could pagaitwa contract, pagabada wamari, pagasasitwa a performance. That is what is there evidently. Now,
Sekuru Kanata Zunjipam Temoga, you would find what the chief says is done is not wrong. You cannot start to disclose the evidence before the law.
All right.
No, we cannot go back to say when it's already completely wrong.
You're missing the point, Brentford. You're missing the point.
So you made the point. Mira, Brentford, I totally agree with you. My facts are not Satya decide on should not be disclosed to the public because they have got the tendency of influencing the opinion of my judges. I agree with that concept. But in this particular instance, do you think Chief Sodza was trying to disclose my facts Tongwa for the purpose of influencing, but or for the purposes of enlightening us over an issue yangaita arise yokuti vana avati vanoimba nekuda kwechido chavo kana kuti vanomanikidzwa? Was he not trying to qualify that?
I don't even understand him because I don't even know why he had mentioned this guy specifically. It was very irrelevant.
All right.
No, it was relevant.
But that's what we're discussing. That was the issue under discussion.
So the issue that had arisen was vanoenda kunoridzira political rallies vanomanikidzwa here kuti vanoenda nokuda kwavo, and what are they doing to the struggle yatiri mukuita?
If the risk for these people, the risk for these people, Soul Jah Love happens at his tune. No, imagine what could have happened to his career.
No, just hang on. Which we can discuss as well. I think we must finish this point here. You could so say at our case iri kumapurisa. And I'm trying to say, ana kutaura kuti I influence outcome. Ataura in support of whether or not these people are actually forced to do what they do or they do it out of choice.
So what our conclusion? Are they doing it out of not?
It appears, according to Sodza, it appears they do it out of their own free will.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry.
Because this same Soul Jah Love, he was dressed down in Mtare, and he went on to apologize. He apologized, and he was there again in Masvingo. Is this person being forced or what? In fact, given a choice, you could end up play in front of Nera where there's maybe 400 or 500 people. And then also new contract in front of 6,000 people. And there's a choice to make here, and it's clear.
Okay. All right. Rekai chirongwa chanhasi chinoperera pano muri yeZimbabwe. Tosangana vhiki rinotevera.
Good night.
Mowane mufaro for the coming weekend. Vaya vanonwa monwa muchidira mvura, musandotuke madzimai kumba uko maita intoxicated. I know Sekuru is a good example. Wakanga wanoenda ondorara, saka I'm inclined to tengera zvangu Sekuru chimwe chikari chewawa. Ndizvo here Sekuru?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this entertainment.
Now stop messing about.
It's lit say, was a bloody, ibada kande mpropa de chantengure dinori ngakure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this entertainment.
Now stop messing about.
Asiraramo ya chondo ya isa kundikanda kambo sama kuneve ukama pamwe vanga yamura azizvakaramba ndangova ndeka zinyarimwe tega musango pasina anopanga mazano nderera inokuta msunenge wapamai aiwanda buma mudzimu ndiringe ininoimba chamtengure ndinoringa kure ndoutani yanga nditakanure chamtengure ndinoringa kure ndoutani yanga nditakanure pasi yangu wanokumira mumhepo zvingava zviroto zvisingabudise chipo pasi yangu wanokumira mumhepo zvingava zviroto zvisingabudise chipo rarama upenyu sina nombokuridzira zvarema zvanetsa pasino kumboturira misodzi yosuka matama chingoyerera nhamo dzenyika ndatadza kudzikunda ndega vari kuuzuru ndimika vari kumhepo muri yamakasiya honai ndongodzingaira naimwari wendedza sendakazvarirwa namo kugara ndichichema zvanzi